I grow people because when people grow, the company grows, and ultimately I make money doing that, but it's about growing the people. And that's why I get excited to get up and go to work in the morning, is because my job is to help people grow.
Let's get on to today's show. Well, welcome back to the Leadership Lowdown, and I am so excited because I am sitting here with Travis Gabbard from Compressed Air Power. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
And here's what I love. What is your title?
Integrator.
Integrator. So not general manager, integrator. Tell us, and let's just start there, because knowing you for as many years as I have, I know a lot about you and your background and the way you think, but I'd love for you to share why integrator.
Yeah, so the last role I was in, we were an EOS company, Gino Wickman's Entrepreneurial Operating System.
Yep.
And in that model, you have a visionary. Typically, your CEO has a vision of where they want to go.
Yep.
And then you have the seat next to that, which is the integrator.
Yes.
The integrator's job is to take all the wild and crazy ideas that the visionary has.
Make them happen.
And make them happen. It's also organizing those and trying to, I like the fun balance of it is, I want you to have all these wild and crazy ideas, but we can't do them all at once.
Yes.
So keep creating the wild and crazy ideas. Let me help work with you to prioritize and then execute those things. But keep creating the wild and crazy, because that's what made us what we are.
Right, absolutely.
So when I left the last company, I knew this is where I belong.
Yeah.
I belong in this seat. My daughter and my oldest daughter and I had dinner yet last night, and she said, how do you, she's in social service. She's done ABA, which is autism behavioral issues, and then she's done, right now she's working with rehab center. So it's a lot more social work type stuff and dealing directly hands-on with people. So she loves it. And she goes, I don't know how you get excited about what you do. And I said, well, do you know what I do? And her response touched me, because she said, yeah, I know what you do. I said, great, what do I do? You grow people.
Oh.
Yeah, how do you not get excited about that?
Oh, that's music to my ears. I love it.
That's exactly what I do. I grow people, and how do you not get excited about that? Yes, I grow people because when people grow, the company grows, and ultimately I make money doing that, but it's about growing the people. And that's why I get excited to get up and go to work in the morning, is because my job is to help people grow. I
love that. And you have been in that capacity in really as long as I've known you, which has been, I don't even know how many, a decade plus. I don't even know where we are. But you're always in that type of role that is integrator and making things happen, but also you're such a culture guy. You're such a people guy. So tell us a little bit about, well, first and foremost, tell us a little bit about the company and where you are and what exactly you do, but also what your piece is in it and how you develop the people the way you do.
Sure, yeah. So I tell people all the time, I'm a salesperson. I feel like every time I say it, I'm standing in front of an AA group saying, hi, my name's Travis. I'm a sales professional. Right. And everybody says back, hi, Travis.
Hi, Travis.
So by profession, I'm a salesperson. Which being a salesperson, you learn how to effectively communicate with people. And, our one of our joint mentors, Mike Toney at Conquest Training, taught me that the role of a salesperson is to compel action. So the role of a general manager or an integrator is to compel action. Like, we need to execute on the plan. So how do I compel people to do the things that need to be done? So coming into Compressed Air Power, we're a air compressor service and sales company. It's a 40-year-old second-generation family business. Our CEO is son of the founder and has taken the business over. 25 years of experience in the industry. When I was looking for that next role, they started the EOS process, or implementing EOS, a couple of years ago, and identified, okay, well, Jeff says, I'm filling both seats. I'm the visionary and the integrator. That's not sustainable. At some point, we need to split these up. The management team agreed and said, yeah, that makes sense. We understand it. And then I started reaching through my network, had the introduction, and he was like, I don't know if we're ready for that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And as it happens, through his network, talking to somebody else, said, this is my situation. I don't know if I'm ready to hire this guy yet or not. And they said, I don't understand what you're waiting for.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what you need.
I
Like,
love it.
This is what you need. You've already discussed that this is what you need.
It's just pulling the trigger to do
Just
it. Yeah.
pull the trigger and do it.
I love
And so I know very little
Mm-hmm.
about air compressors.
Mm-hmm.
I know a little bit more about compressed air systems and pneumatics. I know a lot about managing and helping people grow.
That's awesome.
And so Jeff and I, through the interview process, discussed, okay, this is what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
This is the role that I need filled.
Yeah.
And he said, listen, I've got 25 years. Give me 5 years. I can teach you everything I know about compressors. And in the same 5 years, you could probably teach me everything I need to know about leadership and management and building a business.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just short circuit that, put the two skills together and run?
Yeah.
So very quickly into coming in, Jeff took his hands off the wheels and said, run, go.
Love it.
So I'm really excited about what we're doing, the direction the company's going, growing and developing the management team to get us to where we all aspire to get to with the company.
Yeah.
And it's where I get fulfilled and get really excited is as we start talking about those goals and the mission of the company and where we're trying to get to, driving that culture,
Mm-hmm.
right? A culture of performance.
Yeah.
Like, this is where we're going. We're all in. We're all going to give the best we can. And we're all growing. We're all learning, and we're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But working with a group that has been in a family-owned business, who, and I'll say my observation is generally family-owned businesses, yeah, we want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, by how much?
Yeah. How do we measure that? Yeah.
What does that look like? And what is it going to take for us to grow?
Yeah.
Like, well, we'll probably need to hire more people. So actually putting the plan together.
Right. Right.
And then looking at, before I came in, they already had a 3-year plan on this is where we're trying to go. And literally this morning in our leadership meeting, I brought that 3-year plan up, and we just 2 weeks ago discussed our plan for next year. And our plan for next year exceeds what the plan was to do 3 years from now.
Love it. Love it.
And nobody's looking at it going, well, how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
Because we have a plan. We know how we're going to do it. So they look at it and go, oh, yeah, that's
Right. Like,
wow.
This is it.
That's totally attainable.
Well, and it's so funny because just creating a strategy, sometimes it's like, okay, hope is not a strategy, guys.
Right,
we need to like blueprint, like you can't build a house without a blueprint. You can't build a business without knowing where you're headed and where you're going and creating that alignment. So I love that they have you in that seat, and what a great fit. What a great fit.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Again, watching the team grow, helping to build the culture. They had core values. They were already an EOS company, so they've been through the exercise of building the core values.
Yep.
And through the interview process in the first few weeks and working with the team, like, okay, great. Here's the core values. They're written on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me what they mean.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, to me,
Yeah.
like to you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about to your people?
Right.
Do they mean the same thing to them? Do we have a clearly articulated story of what those core values are,
Yep.
how you would recognize them so that I can hire for them or reward employees that fit those core values?
Yeah.
Like, have we clearly defined those things?
Well, and how do we make decisions based on them?
Absolutely, yes.
And how do we celebrate when we do achieve something that is in alignment? I think oftentimes, like you said, we can put words on a wall, and sometimes it's some pretty wallpaper. But I've worked with, like yourself, worked with enough companies where it's like half the team, 90% of the team, sometimes the owner couldn't even tell you what they are.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, what's the point?
I use that in my interview process as I meet with people. I say, look, we're a core values-driven company.
Mm-hmm.
Let me define for you what that means.
Mm-hmm.
At some point in your career, you've gone to work for a company, and on day one, they hand you the employee handbook.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere on page 3 or 4 is a list of the company core values.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last time you see it, the last time you hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to find it, you could go dig out that handbook. I think that's in the handbook somewhere and go through the handbook and find it. But you're not driven by that.
Right. Right.
And that driving those core values helps to build and define the culture. I love the way, and I was listening to one of your other podcasts that you did for this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we can't create culture.
Mm-hmm.
We just evolve it.
Yeah.
So if we're going to evolve this culture to be what we want it to be, then that has to be alive.
Absolutely.
In the company. That has to be living in each one of us. And as leaders, we have to be the example that
100%.
everybody else aspires to be. Like, that's what it is. That list of values, like you see how he shows up every day, that's living the core values.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
no compromise.
It's palpable. It's sticky. You can
Yes.
feel it. And
Totally.
and I know that when you've created that and the culture is so embedded and invested and feels it and owns it, it completely shifts the trajectory of the growth of the company, the growth of the people within the company, the culture, who you attract, who you retain. Everything shifts. And it's one of the hardest things to articulate. And when you feel it, and you know it. And I love, because knowing you and knowing your mindset, I love that you're in that role to shift and shape and form this already amazing company into its next level and its 2.0 version of what it can be. Yeah.
Yeah. I came in going, this is a 40-year-old business.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not a
startup. Yeah.
This is a 40-year-old
They've been there. They've done it. Right.
They've been around.
Yeah.
They've had success.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. What am I going to come in and then breaking down? Okay, there is something I can contribute here. We got to get clear on the core values. We got to get defined on the mission and the ambitions of everybody on the team. And what does that look like going forward?
Yeah.
And being part of that, like that's my juice, right? That's the gas that fuels the fire, is being part of that, helping build that. I just told one of our managers, we were talking about an employee, I said, listen, I can go back in the history of my career, both for me personally and for employees that have reported to me, every single person that has left the company, I can find the core value and point at the core value and say, that's why.
That's why.
That's why they left. That's why it didn't work out. And in some cases, they left on their own.
Yeah.
But if you're, one of the ones I love is when I was with Rocky Mountain, always learn and grow. And I know you're a big proponent of always learn and grow. Well, if you came into that culture and you were set in your ways and felt like, I'd already proven, I've already done, like I know how, give me space, leave me alone. I'm not reading the books. I'm not going to the classes. I'm good. In a very short order, you find that you don't fit in. Right.
Well, and the best part of it is you self opt out if it's not a right fit, and it's not a good or bad. It's just not the right fit.
I love that. That's exactly right.
But you can feel it on both ends.
Right.
And truly, those core values, like you said, you can hire by them. You can use them as your barometer, as your benchmark, as your hiring tool. But also when you're empowering people, like I know you do, to say, hey, you know what, you are empowered to make decisions. And here's your guideline. This is how to do it. You've got the playbook. That's all.
Yep.
And it's really so much less complex, I think, than a lot of people or companies make it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And we were talking about the alignment of ethics and things like that. And Jeff, the CEO of Compressed Air Power, said it to me when I first started work with him. There were two things he said. Number one, good stuff for good people is our motto. So, like, we have to live that. Yeah. So if you got a customer, it's not a good fit. We just turned down an order that the terms didn't match what we're comfortable with. Yep. They said, well, we're a big company and this is our terms. And we said, that's great. You can buy from somebody else. It just doesn't fit for us.
Exactly.
No judgment on you.
Yep.
That's great. If you can get away with those terms with other people, that's fine.
Right.
But it just doesn't work for us.
Yes.
So we're going to step away from this.
And it needs to be that. It needs to be that true partnership.
Yes.
And not a 50-50.
No.
100-100. Right? How do we really lock arms and cross the finish line together versus, well, there's a little scratchiness here, but we're just going to overlook that because, gosh, that would be a great client to have,
Totally.
or that would look good in our portfolio, or it brings up our bottom line. It's not the right fit.
Yep.
The right fit just isn't the right fit.
Yeah. So that leads to the second thing that Jeff articulated that I love the way he says it is it good for the company? Is it good for the customer? And are you willing to stand behind the decision you made?
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
It's really cut and dry. It's really cut and dry.
It's not hard. This is not complicated.
No,
is
it's
it
really
good
not.
for the customer? Is it good for the company? We both win. Great. Are you willing to stand behind the decision that you made?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was the right call.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
let's go.
Perfect.
The rest will work out.
The rest will work out. Absolutely. Well, I love that. I know that you have such a servant leadership mindset. So where did that come from for you? How was that shaped? Who were your mentors? How did you get to where you are? And what was the backstory to get you there?
Yeah. So out of the military, my first real career position, I was really, really blessed to work with a man who had patience with me as a 23, 24-year-old kid that already knew everything.
Right.
I didn't need to learn anything at that point because
Sure.
I had already figured it all out.
Of course you had.
And I've always had the high energy, and it has stuck with me every day of my life. You're like the sun. You're this massive ball of energy. All I'm trying to do is focus that energy into a laser beam. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. So
I love it.
he had the patience to work with me on that, and he introduced me to the idea that sales is a profession. And like any profession, if you're not constantly sharpening the tools, then you're going to get rusty and you're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
So I learned through him the passion and the ambitions to constantly be learning.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going back to the Tony Robbins cassette tape days.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Cycling through those in the
Yep.
in the car while I'm out running around doing sales calls, Zig Ziglar, like just
All of it.
all of the old school early days of self-development and professional improvement. I got the passion and the bug for it then.
Yeah.
Then as I evolved through my career, and again, I met Mike at Conquest, and he encouraged me to look at the coaching thing. And so I jumped in with him and started coaching salespeople and sales managers and doing consulting roles where I was helping companies build out their sales teams and manage their sales teams, their scorecards, all that stuff. What I found was it kind of ties back to what I was saying about my girls. I love coaching. I have a passion for coaching. I love watching people grow.
Yeah.
I love being part of I get it.
Yeah. The light bulb moments.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. I love seeing that and being part of that.
Absolutely.
I still have relationships with girls that my daughters played with that we text back and forth. I check in on them, they like fill my bucket that I still have that connection with them. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So that when I started doing the coaching the kids, was like, okay, there's my outlet. I can do this and I can be part of that there.
Yeah.
And then when I met Mike and started doing it there, I was like, holy shoot, I could do this every day.
Yeah. Like this is really fulfilling. Yeah.
This is what I want to be doing. And that led to my career at Rocky Mountain. And that led me to the general manager seat where I was developing and overseeing a team of managers who are all phenomenal leaders already, but helping them continue to grow. And now since I've left there, and I left the end of last year, I get the text messages and the phone calls. In fact, one of them stopped by my office the other day because he's now since left and started his own business. He's like, hey, I'm dealing with this situation, wanted to run it through you, see what you thought. And really, as you know, with what you do, I'm not providing any answers. All I'm doing is asking the questions. You already have the answers.
Them. You have them. Right.
The answers are all inside of you. I'm just going to ask the questions that help you bring that answer out.
Yeah.
So that's the gig today is how do I ask the questions so that you can find the answers that you already have. It's not I'm not providing the answers. I don't have the answers.
Right.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I'm in a new business in an industry that I've never dealt with before.
Right.
In a 40-year-old existing family-owned business.
Right.
I don't know how to run this business. I don't know.
That's and also not what you were hired to do. You were hired to develop the people. And I love that too, though, because Travis, you said it perfectly. I don't know much about this business or this industry. You know some, of course. But the depth of your knowledge and the value that you bring isn't about that. They've got people that know that.
Yes.
It's this. And when you've got that heart piece and you're like, you genuinely care to the degree that you do and want to see their success, that's the magic. That's the magic you bring. I love it.
Totally.
I love it.
Thank you.
So fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, I know from all that you've done and all that you've accomplished, there's a wild ride still to be had ahead of you. What are some of the goals that you have for yourself, for your team? Like, what does the future look like for this organization and where you're leading it?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the Jeff is the CEO. Again, this is a family-owned business.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in it for 25 years. When his dad passed away in 2020, he took the business over. And since then has been running the business. And through our conversations, what he's shared with me is while dad was running the business as the son, working from the bottom up, by the way, this is, I know you and I are good friends with Dave. Dave had the same philosophy. Like, if you're going to come into the family business, you're starting at the bottom.
Exactly.
You're going to work. You're going to understand every aspect of this business. So Jeff's done it all, right, in the business. But he always felt like dad is the ceiling. This business can't grow past whatever he's got.
Right.
And then when he took over, he's like, okay, great. Now I'm in charge. Now I can control where we go. And then said, that makes me the ceiling. Yeah. Okay. So this is a problem.
Right. How do I learn, grow, and change?
I haven't really run a business that is getting where I think we could go. So it's a new, it's an evolution.
Yeah.
And part of my responsibility, what I hold as part of my responsibility, is helping him to think like a visionary, to really be in the visionary seat, get out of the day-to-day operations.
Yep.
We'll take care of that. That's being handled now.
Yeah.
You be the visionary.
Right.
So start thinking about, where are we going to be? We have a small market share right now. We're growing. We're building a team that I'm supremely confident we're going to take more market share. But in what we do in industrial air compressors, there is a limit to the market. So now I'm introducing the idea of thinking, okay, if we're going to double the business in the next 3 years, which is an aggressive goal by anybody's standards. But when you take a 40-year-old family business and double that in 3
We're
years,
aggressive with our strategy.
Again, we can see it on paper. It's all achievable, right? So we're going to grow. Well, at that point, we're starting to reach a level of market saturation where we can't grow beyond that. And I want to keep going. I want to keep growing. So now starting to think today about shifting the thinking and thinking in those terms of the 10X. Yeah. Right? Start thinking 10X.
Yep.
Well, we can't scale what we're doing today to get to 10X. So we have to do something different. We have to design and create something different. Yeah. So working closely together with Jeff and starting to work on those ideas of, okay, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Where would we all feel fulfilled, and we're bringing value to the market that would allow us to grow at 10 times what we're doing today? Absolutely.
Well, and to your point, it's starting with the mindset. So oftentimes it's like, well, what do we need to do differently to get different results? It's like, no, how do we need to think so that our thoughts drive our actions drive our results. And sometimes it's just that, well, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? It's like, no. You got to take a step back. Absolutely.
Just shifting the thinking.
Absolutely.
And again, it's a 40-year-old family business. And you and I both have friends through our network that are running family-owned businesses, and I can tell you, if you went through the list, you could identify the ones that are, it's a lifestyle business. Yep. And I have no judgment with that whatsoever. And I don't say that to say any judgment, but that's what it is. It's a lifestyle business.
That's what it was designed for.
I make enough money. I can do the things I want to do, live the life I want to live. I have a lot of autonomy and flexibility. Yep. But I'm not interested in building something bigger. Yeah. So, and that's fine. Yep. We want to build something bigger. Yeah. Like Jeff and I want to build something bigger. And what I'm really excited about in working with him is he's got no ambition of selling the business. It's not part of the retirement plan. Yeah. I don't want to sell it. In fact, I challenged him on it, said, well, what do you want? And what's the goal? From an economic standpoint, the goal is that if we have employees who work for our company for 15 years, financially, they did well enough over 15 years, they could have paid off their home. Like, the vision he has is all of our employees are with us for 15 years and their homes are paid for. So because they worked with us.
Love that.
Okay, that's cool. you could build something and sell it and give them money, and they could do that. And he said, well, that's kind of the sticky part or the tricky part with me. And he says, and I love the man, but he's a rebel, and said, I'm a rebel, and I see all of these, and again, nothing against private equity. Right. I went through the experience. Private equities and large corporations buying up all these family-owned mom-and-pop businesses and running them into the ground. And I want to prove that you can achieve what I'm trying to achieve without that.
I love it.
So
fantastic.
It's just a rebellion thing.
Yeah,
just
good.
Because I can.
Because I can. Good for him. Good for him. Good for you.
So
right?
yeah, so I'm super excited about it because it means there's a huge runway for us. We're not looking at any kind of time deadline. Right. We can push and push and push, and who knows, once we hit the 3-year goal and then push to the 5-year, who knows what the actual 10-year is going to end up being. Yeah. But I think it's going to be something really wild and special. Yeah. And I think we've got good people to help us build that, and we'll add more people, but the culture and driving the culture is really, that's where it starts.
It's the key.
Fundamentally, that's where it starts.
Love it. Love it. Well, there's no one better to be in charge of that than you, my friend.
Thank you.
Well, as you know, I have some fun questions that I love to ask to give people a little insight into Travis and what makes Travis Travis. So let's start with, what is your favorite word?
Dad.
Oh. Okay, now you're going to make me teary. We're both looking at each other, a little bit of that tears right there.
Yeah.
I love that. What a beautiful word from all your babies.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you have a least favorite word?
I thought about that because I've I listened to a couple of podcasts, and I couldn't, I just can't come up with anything. I can't think of anything. That probably the one word, and my kids know this, can't. That word doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, well, you are definitely not a, oh, bummer, okay, well, it is what it is type of a guy. So you're like, what do we need to do to get through it, over it?
I don't know
around
what
it.
can't means.
Exactly.
Can't is not in my vocabulary.
Not part of it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's very, very true to you. What would you say turns you on creatively, spiritually, emotionally?
Watching people grow.
Yeah.
That's
your jam.
That's I just, again, I did it with kids, girls from 8 years old to into the high school age, and just watch that. And even now with my own kids, just watching what they're going through. We were talking about before we started this, our kids are both traveling abroad right now, and watching that experience and seeing them grow through all of that, like that's what fills me up. So just seeing people grow. I love to see people that want to grow, that have a thirst for knowledge and growth. Like that's what I want to be around. That's what I want to be a part of. And any opportunity I get, somebody invites me, hey, we're putting this thing together. This is what we're like. It's an opportunity to grow and help people grow. I'm in. Yeah. Count me in.
Well, and it's really been the theme throughout your life. So I mean, I love that constant is there. I think that's one of the threads that's always connected you and I is that ability to watch and guide and help and support that in any way. So fantastic. Totally. What turns you off?
Victims.
What was me?
So it's and I'm a little extreme with it, to be quite honest. I'm a little extreme with the no victims mentality. I have a belief that I'm cause in my life. So everything that happens is because of decisions that I've made, good, bad, indifferent. There is no, in my opinion, my belief is there's no, I'm just playing the cards I dealt.
Yeah.
I sat down on the table. I put my chips on the table. I'm asked for the deal. Whatever cards I got, it's because of those actions. Yeah. Now, they might have got a crappy hand. Okay, well, I have the option what I do with that hand, fold it, throw away my chips, and then go start again. Or I can just sit there with it and go, well, it's a crappy hand, but that's what I got, so I got to keep throwing chips in there.
Got to keep playing. Yeah. I love that. It's a great analogy and a great outlook.
Victims just don't. I struggle with victims.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you on that. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exhausting. And then on the flip side, the ones that get it and want to grow, whew.
But yeah, and I think if you think about anything as from a victim perspective. And this is the trap that I see that is why it bothers me so much. And I anytime my team that I have right now, a random stranger having a conversation, I can't resist but challenge the victim mentality. And the reason is because if you accept that these are the cards you were dealt, there's nothing, it happened to you. If it happened to you, it could happen to you again. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Yep.
There's no way to change that. If you accept, well, I did put myself in that situation.
Yep.
Then you can do something about it.
Yes.
And you can prevent it from happening again.
Absolutely. But you're in the driver's seat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to see people that have had bad things happen take that victim mentality, and then it happens to them again. And you see it, right? You see the pattern with people who are victims of victims and victims of victims.
Yeah.
Because you can't get out of that cycle of not my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a vicious loop.
It's not my fault. It happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
You made decisions along the way that caused that.
That caused that. That got you there. Yep. Yep.
Make different decisions and get away from that.
Yep. Yep. And it's not to say that bad things don't happen. You know, some certain things are out of our control. Certain things happen. However, it is how you frame it, how you deal with it, how you get out of that, how do you handle it next time or circumstantially to get out of where you are to choose something different. We've all had stuff, you know.
100%. And I don't mean to make light of bad things happening.
Correct.
Because you have somebody who's meaningful in your life that passes unexpectedly and tragically, right? That's horrible.
Yeah.
But you chose the relationship.
Yeah.
So own that you chose that relationship. Value what you got from that relationship and choose to do that again.
Yep. Yep.
What I got was so good that even though pain I had to go through, I would go do that again. Yeah,
just to have that relationship for whatever finite amount of time I had it for.
That's exactly right.
I love it. Great way to look at it.
Again, I don't mean to say that bad things don't happen.
No, it's not being flippant about it.
It's the framing, right? It's how do I frame the bad thing that happened so that I have a positive experience in my life.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. So valuable. What sound or noise do you love?
Baby laughter. Everybody in my family knows if they have a TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and it's
anything with a baby
laughing, it's going to get me
okay. So know I'm going to blow up your phone with babies laughing now. Now that I know this about you,
it doesn't. It
doesn't get old.
Yeah, it doesn't get old.
Is there? I
will say. I've heard it said before. Except at 2:00 in the morning, when you don't have a baby.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. That makes sense.
That is a little.
Then you're like, that's a little freaky. That's a little freaky.
But yeah, baby laughter never gets old.
I love it.
Never gets old.
What sound or noise don't you like?
Boy, the sound or noise I don't like. I can't. I mean, just the negativity.
The negativity, the whining, the
negativity, whining. This isn't my fault. I can't. Like that negative personality, negative people. I don't have the time and the energy for it. And again,
don't like the sound of it either.
No judgment.
Just not your thing. Yep.
Just I don't have space for it in my life.
Makes perfect sense. What profession other than your own would you love to attempt?
I've attempted it, and I would attempt it again. So in high school, I fell in love with the idea of being a professional firefighter.
Oh, yeah.
I did the Air Force for 4 years, and I was a firefighter in the Air Force. God bless the military and the U.S. government because they are all about prevention.
Yep.
So for 4 years, Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, 2 fires. One, I wasn't working the day of the fire. It was a very small fire. The second one, I was working. It was a base housing fire. I was on base housing. By the time I hooked up the hydrant, turned the water on, got to the truck, grabbed the axe, put my breathing apparatus on, and walked in the door, they were dragging the hose out. I never saw a flame.
Yeah.
So
there's that.
Yeah. And then but to me, I think it's the most noble profession.
It really
is the most honorable profession. And I just think it's the coolest job in the world.
Yeah.
When I got out of the service and my intention was to go back and do that. At that point, I was married, was having a kid, needed to actually get an actual job. And my firefighter friends that I have know when I say I had to get a real job, they know exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't wait.
Yeah.
So my mom lives in Williams, and she said, you could come volunteer, and Williams has a volunteer fire department. That idea is actually attractive to me, to find a small community for my retirement and then jump in with the volunteers and get a chance to live that dream.
Live that dream. Good for you.
The back of the truck with the lights and the horns going. And
all the things. Yeah. All the things. Is there a profession that you're like, that would just be horrible for me?
Anything data entry.
I'm with you. Oh, my gosh. That or like tech support or
God
technical
bless
stuff.
people that can do
I
it.
love them. I love them so much because it is so not my skill set either.
God bless the accountants. God bless
Yep,
the CPAs
we need 'em all.
and the
We
data
need 'em
entry
all.
people, because I'm not built that way. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you and me both.
Couldn't do it.
If heaven exists, what would you love to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
Probably there's two things. One, most important would be that I had a positive impact on people. So I you and I might have talked about this once before. At a biological level, I think that human beings are a symbiotic creature, right? And if in being a symbiotic creature, we have to coexist. There's not one person on this planet, and I don't challenge anybody who says that can live 100% completely independent. Nope. You watch these guys, and I have it. Well, what about the people in Alaska that living alone in Alaska? I'm like, yeah, and then they go into town, and they barter and they trade to get things like iron ore that is made into an axe. Like, they're not mining iron ore and melting it and creating an axe. Right. They're trading and bartering with someone to do that. So if we're a symbiotic creature, you have to be contributing. You don't fit if you don't contribute in some way. And everybody has their own unique way. You embrace this to the greatest extent with what you do with You and Improved. Everybody has their own contribution. Yeah. And the tribal jester has a contribution. Yeah. Their job is to make everybody laugh. Yeah. And if everybody's laughing and it makes doing the hard things easier, because you can be part of the tribe because you bring that. Yeah. But if you take, and you don't bring anything back, you find yourself removed from the tribe, and you can't live out there on your own. So at the pearly gates, I would expect him to say, you had a positive impact, like you contributed in a meaningful way.
I love that.
And the other thing and this is more of my own head trash or my own self identification, I guess would be the word, is that I did the best I could with what I had. Like if I hope that the creator, whoever, recognizes that, hey, given everything that we gave you and everything that we put you through, you did a pretty good job. Like, you did the best you could with what you had there. That was some good stuff.
I love that. Well, knowing you and the gift of knowing you as long as I have, I know that you are continually, if I had to think of, top 5 people in my life that when I think of the word contributor, you are certainly on that list. That's your heart. That's everything I've known about you. So thank you for sharing that with everyone. To wrap us up, being the Leadership Lowdown, piece of advice, word of wisdom, anything you've learned along the way that you'd love to share with our listeners as a final thought.
Yeah, it's a great question. I have a number of friends. You've written a book. I have a number of friends that have written books, and I've thought about it. I've contemplated. I'm like, what would I write a book about? If I was going to write a book, what would I write a book about? And the one theme that keeps coming back to my head is, it's not about you. Like, it seems really simple, right? But it's not about you. And every challenge, every situation I run into in my life where I'm like, and I'm stuck and I'm not sure, and I'm like, get out of it. It's not about you, dude.
Yeah. Get out of your way
and
realize this
is
not about you.
It is not about you. And I think if leaders can embrace that, especially in a leadership role, this is not about you. How my operations manager or my sales manager is doing and performing, that's not about me. It's about them. And this conversation is about them. Yeah. What's going on with that's about our customers. It's not about me. Yeah. It's
really about everyone else. Yeah.
So I don't know how to write the book, but that's the idea. It's like, it's not about you. Yeah. Stop making everything about you.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you. And thank you for being a part of the show, being here today, sharing your wisdom, sharing your insights. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, likewise, my friend. Well, with that, thank you for joining us today on the Leadership Lowdown. My name is Jodi Low. And remember, leaders are curious. So keep learning and keep leading with love. And remember, you can catch our show every Thursday morning. And the best way to keep up with new episodes is to subscribe on YouTube, Apple, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts.